Hey, how's it going, everybody? Car insurance guy back. This is video number 2. So, I'm going to give you guys a little update on the situation. If you didn't see the first video, go check it out. It's kind of a long one, but check it out. Basically, the whole story is I was in a car accident on January 1st at a red light. There was a car accident, and one of the cars from the accident came into my vehicle. So the driver that caused the accident didn't have insurance, and that's kind of what started this whole thing. I'm kind of learning firsthand the experience of like how the whole thing goes when you get hit by an uninsured driver and the accident is their fault. So basically, my first video is like a long rant of me being frustrated about getting hit by an uninsured driver or being involved in an accident caused by an uninsured driver. So basically, a little update about where I'm at. Um, I I have talked to my insurance company. They are taking care of getting the vehicle fixed. The insurance company, I'm not going to say which one I have, but I'm not really thrilled. I mean, they're fine, whatever. They're helping me, but it hasn't been the best. So, like, one of the things that's annoying is so I filed my claim on January 1st. The accident was on January 1st. When I filed it on January 1st, the person I was talking to told me that my adjuster would contact me the following business day. It's now January 8th, and I still have not received a call from the adjuster. But thankfully, my wife works in auto insurance. She knows that world, and she was able to get like a fill-in adjuster on the phone, and they helped us out. So I guess another little annoying thing is they recommended that we use their mechanic or whatever that they're hooked up with that they refer people to. So we did that, and then get the car over there, and the people at the mechanic place are like, we're super understaffed. We're not going to be able to get to this for a while. So kind of annoying, but whatever. We'll deal with it. So that's where I'm at with the auto insurance company, and they're fixing the car. It's going to take a while. I'll get it back. Um, I have spoke to an attorney about going after the at-fault driver. Basically, like in my first video, I was pretty upset, and I was like, yeah, I was upset. So I said a few things where maybe I was taking it a little too far. But basically, the attorney, all of them have let me know that when you get hit by an uninsured driver and the person is broke, then when you try to sue them to get reimbursed for the money that you've lost, you basically, the ruling is they're broke, they can't pay you, and then I would end up paying the attorney fees. So everyone has told me if I go after this guy and try to sue him, most likely I won't get anything and I'll have to pay the attorney fees. If I'm wrong about that, if anybody happens to know, please tell me. Like anywhere where I happen to be wrong, just point it out to me so I know. Um, so I asked the attorney just flat out. I said, okay, worst case scenario, if I try to sue this guy to get reimbursed and they rule that he's broke and can't pay me, how much am I looking at? What do I have to pay in attorney fees roughly? Because I wanted to know, is it affordable to try to sue the guy even if it goes bad? Or is it like an astronomical number that I don't want to get into that? And what he told me was it'd probably be around $300. So I mean, I've been given ballpark figures before, so I'm figuring I'll double it. Maybe it's going to be $600. And in my case, that's worth it to me. I would put $600 on the line to try to go after the guy to get reimbursed. Maybe we'll see. Um, but I could do that, and I'd recover from paying that attorney fee if it didn't go my way, whatever. But to me, it'd be worth it to get in front of the guy and just tell him how inconvenient it is for him to plow his car into mine, and then I have to pay for it, and he just gets to go break the law and drive without insurance again. Because there's doesn't seem to be much of a penalty for them. but whatever, that's fine. And yeah, so I guess that's where I'm at with the attorney. He said the thing happened on January 1st. We have time. We don't have to do all that right now. So I'll take their advice. And I'm really kind of to the point where I've accepted that it sounds like most likely I will get nothing. I'll have to lose the money that I've paid out of pocket, and I will not get reimbursed. And the reason that's frustrating is because I didn't do anything wrong. I'm sitting at a red light, and now I have to lose money because somebody chose to drive without insurance. Pretty annoying. And pretty much ever since I posted that first video, I have just like talked to so many people that are in this same situation, in both like in person and on the internet. And so I've heard tons of stories about people getting hit by uninsured drivers and just the bullshit that they go through because of it. And I've noticed one thing in common with all of the I call them victims just because that's my way of saying they didn't do anything wrong. They're the ones that the thing happened to them. It's not their fault. So I call it the victim is the person who did nothing wrong, and the at-fault driver is the person who caused the accident. Those are my two terms. So I've spoke to a ton of people who have got hit by uninsured drivers, and I've noticed one thing in common with all of them. They're all pissed off that they have to lose money because somebody slammed their car into theirs and didn't have insurance. And I get it. And there's also a lot of people that have come out and just said, like, quit your bitching, get over it, that's life, deal with it and move on. And I mean, I don't agree with that. So under that way of thinking, basically I think you're telling me it's okay for somebody to drive without insurance, slam their car into mine, damage my property, and I'm the one who has to pay the money to get it fixed. I'm the one who loses money even though I did nothing wrong. And since they're driving without insurance and they're broke, they have taken away my ability to get reimbursed. So I just lose money and that's that. And under the way of thinking of the people who are telling me just deal with it, get over it, stop being a baby, let me explain something to you because that's nuts to me. So if I truly hated somebody, here's what I would do, like one idea to just make their life suck for a while. Under your way of thinking, saying that if somebody slams their car into mine, I should pay for it, lose money. And then keep in mind, when you do nothing wrong, you're the victim of this, your insurance rates still go up. So your rate is higher all because some dumbass ran their car into yours and you did nothing wrong. So if I should just deal with it and get over it, let's say I hated somebody. Here's an idea to ruin their life for a while. How about I hire 10 people and tell them all, here's the person I hate. I want you to all get in a single file line. Person number 1, take a little beater car with no insurance and run it right into his car and, bash their car up, damage the property, make him pay for it. His insurance rates are going to go up. He'll pay the higher insurance. And, okay, now your job's done. You pay the ticket that you get for that. And now, guy number 1, your job is done. Guy number 2, it's your turn. So now, the second that person gets their car back on the street, fixed from insurance, they get their car back, they're back out driving, I'm going to tell guy number 2, go take a beater car, slam your car into theirs, and damage their property. You have no insurance, so they're going to have to pay for it. Their rates are going to go up a second time, and, do that to them. Go ahead. And then after you hit their car, you pay their ticket, your job's done, guy number 2. We're on to guy number 3 now. The second the insurance company gets that car fixed, gives it back to the person, they're back out on the road. And I say, hey, guy number 3, get a beater car, no insurance, slam it right into their car, damage the property, and their insurance rates are going to go up a third time now, according to what you're saying. And the whole time, the guy who did nothing wrong should just deal with it, get over it, and keep paying these astronomical insurance rates now. So if that's possible, I mean, this is an extreme thing that I'm saying, but I'm saying that you need to realize if people did it the way you're describing, this could totally happen to somebody, and you're saying that'd be perfectly fine? I don't think so. Something needs to happen to the people driving without insurance. That's why it's a law that you must have insurance to drive a car. Somebody, that just reminded me, somebody else said something. What did they say? What did he say here? It says, insurance isn't to protect other people's property, it's to protect your property. Okay. You get insurance because you have an expensive vehicle. I think you're wrong there. You get insurance because you have a vehicle. You don't get insurance because you have an expensive vehicle. You get insurance because you have a vehicle. It doesn't matter how much it costs. You have to have insurance in order to drive it. So if you get a vehicle, whether it was expensive or not, you have to have it insured. And if you're driving around uninsured and you're broke, then pretty much you're driving around saying, this is foolproof because I'm going to slam into somebody. They can't sue me because I'm broke. They're going to have to pay for it. That's fine. I'm not going to get penalized for my crime. Pay my little ticket, be back out there doing it again. No problem. So I don't agree with this, with the people who are leaving comments saying just get over it, because if even one of the guys was like, oh, don't be a baby, get over it, like he's being a tough guy. Let me flip this back on you, dude. If you're paying bills that other people caused you to incur and you're not saying, hey, wait a minute, this bill isn't meant for me, it's meant for that person, you're not tough. You're the opposite of tough. You're paying bills for other people. Why don't you maybe put your foot down and say, I'm not paying a bill that is meant for that person. They can pay their bill. And somebody clue me in on this. So if I get hit by an uninsured driver and that person's broke and I want to sue them, they can get out of it because they're broke. I don't get it. I understand you can't squeeze money out of a broke person, but hypothetically, let's say there's a rich guy driving around with no insurance. And I understand that probably wouldn't happen because rich people have money and they would pay for insurance because they're not dumbasses. But for the sake of this conversation, let's say there's a rich guy driving around with no insurance and I get hit by that guy. It's my lucky day, because he doesn't have insurance, but he's rich. So if I sue him to get reimbursed, I can get my money. They're not going to say, oh, this guy's broke, he can't pay you. They're going to look, say, oh, he's got some money, he can pay you. So pretty much what we're doing is judging whether somebody can break the law or not based on their success or their financial status. I think everybody should learn their lesson equally. If there's a rich guy driving around with no insurance and then, he gets sued to reimburse the victim, okay, that's pretty normal. Equally, if there's a broke person driving around with no insurance, he should also be able to get sued. And I'm not saying I want to ruin people's lives. The problem isn't that they got into a car accident. That's a normal thing. Accidents happen. The problem is they're driving with no insurance. That is the problem. I understand accidents happen. I have a heart for that. I don't have a heart for people driving around without insurance because that's not part of the accident. A car hitting a car is an accident. Driving with no insurance is not an accident. It's a decision. A bad one. And, when that decision blows up in your face, you should be held accountable to that. That's how I feel. And my whole life, if I made a mistake, I was held accountable to it. That's what I'm used to. That's what I've learned. And now all of a sudden we live in this world where somebody can slam their car into someone else and just say, oh, I'm broke, I have no insurance, not my problem anymore, you can have fun dealing with that. And then they go do it to somebody else. I'm going to look through these comments again because I could swear there was one other thing that I wanted to talk about, but I'm not seeing it. Whatever. So Yeah, these people that are like, oh, get over it. Yeah, my first video is a little dramatic because I wanted to really drive home that, like, it's a pretty frustrating situation to get hit by an uninsured driver and then you have to lose money because they are a dumbass. I don't. If I do something stupid, I will lose money for it because that's what I deserve. I made a bad choice. I don't lose money for other people's decisions. I'm responsible for me and my family. If you're not in there, I don't pay for your decisions. You do. So anybody telling me man up, I don't understand that mentality. You're talking to me like you're a tough guy, and I'm looking at you like, really? You would pay somebody else's bills? You're a dumbass. All right, that's about all I got. Just wanted to give you a little update. Um, yeah, the insurance company's taking care of me. They're a little annoying, but they're doing their job. They're all right. The attorney told me, yeah, we can try to sue this guy if you want. You're probably not going to get anything, but if you want to pay me to do it, we'll do it. And we'll see where that goes. I think the coolest part of this whole thing has been the people reaching out to me or meeting people in real life that are going through this too, because everybody feels the same way. They're like, dude, I'm just driving down the street. I did nothing wrong. You know, the other car is the at-fault driver. They hit me. They have no insurance, and now I have to lose this amount of money because they hit me with their car. And all right, so here, let me tell a whole nother story. So here's how I think this whole process goes. And if I say anything that's incorrect, somebody tell me where I'm wrong. So here's how I think it works. An accident happens, there's an at-fault driver, and I call it the victim, I guess, because they did nothing wrong. So the at-fault driver, their insurance company would pay to get the at-fault driver's car fixed, get it back to him, rental car, anything the at-fault driver needs, the at-fault driver's insurance company would do that. The victim, their insurance company would fix their car and get it back to them, and rental car, all of that. So you have two insurance companies, they each help their person. Then after that, the victim's insurance company would sue the at-fault driver, and the whole purpose of that is for the victim's insurance company to get the money back that they lost because of the fault of the at-fault driver. So they're saying, we shouldn't have lost this money. This was your fault. You have to pay us back. Therefore, we're suing you. So the way it works in the end is the victim has to put up some money, but they get reimbursed. If it all goes the way it should, they get reimbursed. So when it's all said and done, the victim is put back right. The victim's car insurance company sues the at-fault driver. If everything goes the way it should, they get their money. So now the victim and the victim's car insurance company is put back right. The only people who are left with like the negative results of that would be the at-fault driver because he got sued, and the at-fault driver's insurance company because that's who they represent. And that's the way it should be. So when people are telling me to just get over it, no, because in the end, I'm not getting put back right. The reimbursement part never happens because the at-fault driver's broke and he doesn't have an insurance company. He didn't have insurance. So you're telling me to get over it? No. Why would I get over it when I have to pay money because of somebody else being a dumbass? I'm not happy about that, especially if that person had to break a law or two in order to cost me that money. Then I'm looking at them like, I did nothing wrong. You broke a few laws. You cost me money. I didn't cost you anything. You're the one who messed up. I'm the one who didn't. You got to make it right. I don't want people's lives to be ruined, but I don't want to lose money for some stranger to be a dumbass. I'm allowed to feel that way. If you don't like it, I don't care. I think you're a weirdo for saying that if somebody made you lose money, you'd be perfectly fine with it. That means you're either rich and just super generous, or you're not a tough guy. You're a pushover. have fun. I don't know. Take that how you will. But, all right. I guess that's enough of a rant for me. But oh, one other thing. I did actually get a call back also from one of the state reps office. Explained the whole story to them. Same story as in my first video. Said the whole thing to them. And they agreed with me. They were like, man, this, that sounds wrong. And nobody's really ever said it to us like that before. And so basically they said they were going to make some phone calls, see what they could do, if they could be of any help to me and get back to me. I haven't heard from them. But even if I don't, whoever that lady is that I talked to on the phone, she was like one of the nicest people in the world. So I appreciate her reaching out and even getting a call back from them. I thought that was pretty cool that they were going to see what they could do to help. So hopefully they can do something. But I see how this works. And still the goal would be to create a situation where if an uninsured driver runs their car into you, I would like the situation to be, when it's all said and done, you didn't lose money because you're the victim, and the at-fault driver is the one who has to pay to make that right. And I don't think that should be based on whether they're financially successful or not. Everybody can learn their lesson equally. I don't think broke people should be allowed to break the law because they're broke. That gives people incentive to stay broke and keep breaking the law. It seems weird. All right, but one thing about this video, if I might have said anything wrong, like if I'm going through this process of how the whole thing works and I'm wrong about something, please point out where I'm wrong, because I want to hear it. I want to have a really good understanding of, one, what the law is, and two, how this usually works, because this insurance thing is a law, but it seems to be a law that's not really enforced. So I really want to understand what the law is, so I know like how it's supposed to go, and then how does it really go? Like how does this law get enforced or not get enforced? And we're trying to create a situation where the victims of uninsured drivers stop losing money and the uninsured drivers start learning their lesson. Something has to be in place to deter people from driving without insurance, because right now it just seems way too easy to drive without insurance and get away with it. And pay your little ticket, you're back out on the street. Pretty much the message that sends to me is, it's like the city saying, you can break the law as long as you give us some money. You give us some money, we'll let you break the law. Just keep the money coming in. For us, the victim, he can pay for the damages, but the city, we need some money from this. If you break the law, you got to pay us money to get away with that. That seems crazy. It's a cycle that's not going to end, is pretty much what it seems like. Something has to change in order to put it to an end, because the way it is right now, it's a cycle that benefits the at-fault driver and punishes the victim. And that's crazy to me, that's like real life, that really happens to people. So anybody out there that sees this who maybe knows more on the situation than I do, please chime in. Let me know if you've been through this before. Let me know how it went. If you're an attorney and you hear something that I said is maybe wrong, let me know, so then I can do better. So yeah, I appreciate everyone listening to the story. Thank you for being along for the ride. If you didn't see the first video that I did, go ahead and check that out. And yeah, as I get some more information, I will let you know. All right, have a good one.